Welcome back to episode 10, and this is our final instalment on paternity leave. And here we're going to dig deep. We're going to talk about preparing for paternity and fatherhood, protecting this time at all costs, making sure it's quality time, and of course, your return to work. Everyone lulls you into a false sense of security. It's only when you experience it firsthand that you see the relentlessness of it all. When the reality hits you, you both can struggle to find your rhythm. As a dedicated father, it's easy to put everyone's needs above your own. Baby and mum become your priority, so you push on and you give them everything you think they need. With your focus directed towards everything else, you might actually choose to ignore the importance of your own self-care until it's too late. Those first few weeks are about finding your rhythm as a family, and together you must work to find a balance that includes time to unwind and to decompress. We've talked about it. The challenge starts way before baby arrives. Your failure to prepare is what is catching you out. And in my case, that's exactly what happened. If you're not looking after yourself before baby arrives, then starting after baby arrives is going to be a really difficult task. And it's going to be something you're going to struggle to pin down. If you continue to overlook the importance of looking after yourself and your health and your well-being, and think that old habits and escapisms are going to see you through, I'm afraid you're wrong. When faced with the seismic shift in the world around you, that approach can leave you feeling exhausted, and when your kids and your partner need you to be at your best, you're going to focus on survival, and you're going to bury it deep when they need you to be present. In the early days, the senses are overloaded, and at times they can feel like there is no escape and no time to breathe. This isn't designed to put you off. It is the reality check most of us need. The problem won't be that you're unable to connect. The problem will be that your connection might be impaired because you're distracted by the outside world. It's the outside influences that most impact our ability to be the dad they need us to be. From day one, you must remember that what they need is very simple. In my honest opinion, your health unlocks your ability to feel confident in your role as a father, but it later unlocks their ability to reach their potential, feel good about themselves, and find the balance necessary to find happiness. Ultimately, by making time for self-care, you can reduce stress, boost your energy, and importantly, enhance your mood. This in turn enhances your capacity to engage fully with your family and be emotionally available to your partner. Every father wants to add value and contribute to raising his kids, but the demands of work and demands on your time might actually stop you spending the quality time with them that you so desperately crave. And this can undermine your confidence and the approach that you take to parenting. For me, preparation is everything, but I only came to understand that when it was too late. When I needed to get back on track after a very difficult setback after our youngest was born, I needed to quantify the impact that I wanted to have on my family. I had to find answers to a simple set of questions, and these questions helped me gain a better understanding of the impact I wanted to have on them. I wanted to know what I was missing, and if it was something that would allow me to build a better connection with my kids. I wanted to understand what was contributing to my stress and would allow me to feel less stressed, more relaxed, and happier in myself. I wanted to understand the obstacles that I was personally facing and how they were impacting my ability to be present in my day-to-day life, but also connect with my partner and my kids. I needed to understand what I wanted from my role as a father. What impact did I want to have? What influence did I want to have? And where did that position need to start? And I had to articulate what I wanted for them and how I would deliver it. There were things that I wanted to share with my kids, and there were things that I deprioritised because we'd had kids. And that's where the conflict starts. That decision to deprioritise things that made me smile that actually was having a massive impact on my relationships, and I needed to assess how continuing on that path would impact them in the longer term. Most important of all, I needed to understand what my kids and my partner needed and how that would change over time. If you can quantify the impact that you want to have before taking paternity leave and before baby arrives, then you can get a clearer understanding of the things that might hinder you in your role. That question set helped me gain insight into what was holding me back. If I've learned anything from this experience and the time that I spent in the darkness, it was that I stood in my own way. It was me and only me that could get back on track, and I had to make the changes necessary to impact my kids from a position of strength and confidence. The reality was, I did not prepare for fatherhood. I took it in my stride, and the first time round, it didn't catch me out. So I felt confident. It lulled me into a false sense of security. I was comfortable to a certain extent. And that is where I made a fatal mistake. I took my eye off the ball. I could have pushed on. I could have started to look after myself, but I believed I was okay. None of the habits that I had before we'd had our first changed. I still thought I was indestructible. But it wasn't until that fateful night that I got caught out that I realised I'd made a massive mistake. I needed to prepare. Now, you see, antenatal courses, they prepare you for the practicalities. They get you ready for the birth. They get you ready for those challenges, the sleep deprivation, all those things that you need to understand about having a baby. But what they don't tell you is that internally there is a fire burning, and it is forcing you to move forward. It is forcing you to make the decisions that can drive a wedge between you, your partner, and your kids, because you want to provide, you want to protect. But you also need to be present. They need you on top form. They need you to be at the best of your ability. They need you to be confident in every decision that you make. And linking your decision making to the impact that you're having, the influence that you can have on their young lives and on your partner, especially in these formative months after baby is born. It's a critical step. You have to be self-aware. You have to understand the limitations of who you are today. And you have to understand how to make the changes so those limitations don't limit their potential and their future. Your confidence is key. The impact that you have from day one is on your partner. The contribution that you make to the family from day one gives her the confidence to ride out some of the toughest storms that she will face. Yes, you provide. Yes, you protect. But you need to be tuned in to what they need. When they need it, not what they want. It's very different. What they need is so simple. Love, affection, empathy. All of those things that don't always come naturally to you and I. You need to be tuned in to what she needs in those early stages. If you're tuned in, the conflict that can arise between you as you try and muddle through some of these challenges, that can actually subside. And therefore your communication improves. Your role during paternity leave is to create a space where she feels strong, where she feels confident in her role. But you have to do that when you're confident in yourself. Your habits of old will impact the way that you are with your kids. And if you're relying on those old habits, those old escapisms, you're going to bed late because you need to decompress, things like that, then it's going to catch you out. I burned out not because of fatherhood. I burned out because I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I'd made too many mistakes along the way, and they had left me exhausted. If you're looking for more support, more information around parental burnout, postnatal depression, how to survive paternity leave, and how to impact from that position of strength and confidence, the Modern Fatherhood Club has always got your back. Check out the website. There's a couple of great ebooks that are on there now where you can access extra insight, a couple of extra exercises to help you feel more confident in your role. Remember, your role is to influence, guide, inspire. Take a leaf out of my book. If you're not ready, take a step back. Reflect on the man you are today. Take a step forward, looking at the future and the impact that you can have from that position of strength, confidence and courage. Look, as you embark on your own journey, that question set that I described can help you feel more confident in those early days. But more importantly, it helps you get clear on the impact of your decision making. Not only that, it can also help you understand how you want to feel in your role as their dad. There will be things that you love, things that help you decompress, that you no longer have time for, and there will be things about you that you wish you could change, but think it's too late to make those changes. By losing sight of what really matters and not recognising the costs of your decisions, you can push your body and mind to unhealthy limits. This is your chance to feel more prepared than the average dad. The questions I asked have evolved over time, but above all else, they have allowed me to reflect on my role and my impact, and this is something I urge you, from one man to another, to do. Your children need a strong, resilient and confident father. But above all else, they need someone who isn't distracted by the outside world. They need you to love them unconditionally, and they need you to engage in play and creativity. Understanding what they really need enables you to see it all from a different perspective. A clear-headed dad will see what they need. Whilst we're all very different in our parenting approach, you cannot argue that what your kids need is warmth, love, food, compassion, emotional connection and guidance from someone prepared for that journey. That's it. Everything else is just noise. The noise that you create. One of the things to help you prepare for fatherhood and maximise this unique opportunity to be present with your partner and your new baby is the circle of influence. This is something that I teach in my dad events, and it's something that's available throughout the courses that I provide. The circle of influence is an exercise to help you understand the different things you're balancing as a father. This will include the things that you can control and things that you can't, and it will cover most, if not all, the things that make up your current role. This exercise helps you categorise by influence what you are working on, what is stopping you from getting to that all-important project, and it also factors in things that you want to focus on but you can't quite get to. I typically start the process by identifying the topics that make up my circle of influence. All those things I'm either thinking about or juggling as a busy parent. These topics can include, but it's not limited to these, my health, my business, my relationship, my eldest and what's going on in his world, my youngest and what is going on in his world, my partner and the challenges and goals and pressure that she's experiencing, and my own personal goals and aspirations, my career, my progress, the challenges that I have in my current role, and any goals that I may have, my extended family, my partner's extended family. Now within each category, you might then draw out the detail. For example, if we take my health as a category, it will include things like my diet, my daily sugar intake, alcohol and how much I consume, sleep and how much I'm getting and if it's any good, my weight, my exercise and my personal exercise goals. The other example is my relationship, and as a category that can include making space for one another, keeping the connection alive, spending quality time together, making memories a priority, downtime, intimacy, enjoying the time that we do have together, which, let's face it, is rare. If I adjust the lens and look at my eldest, this helps me identify what is going on in his world that I need to be aware of, some of which might impact the way I am going to respond under pressure. That could be recent feedback from his school, his confidence, things that trigger his stress and anxiety levels, his emotions, finding the things that he enjoys, and his emotional responses to the pressure that he faces as a young boy, and how to help him remain calm and learn how to understand and react to those emotions. Things like celebrating and rewarding his behaviour and progress, and nurturing that confidence. But more importantly, one of the things for me, spending one-on-one time together and finding things that we have in common and making the most of those things. And one last thing would be his relationship and the dynamic that he has with his brother. These are just a few examples, but the objective is to identify the categories that matter and that have an influence over you in your day-to-day life. This list is designed to help you focus on what is important and illustrate the mental and emotional load that you carry. First, craft your categories and make sure you have a comprehensive list that touches all the different areas of your life. It is important to focus on health, your goals, your career, and each family member. Then underneath you will list out all the different things that make up a category. As an example, as a new father, your categories could include mum, baby, you, your career, extended family members and the impact that they can have, her career and her intention to return to work, finances, childcare, your relationship, how baby is adapting to being in the family, sleep deprivation, all those things. Things that impact your partner will include, I'm sure, sleep deprivation, loneliness, feeding schedules, various baby-related activities and appointments, exhaustion, and any specific challenges that she's facing with baby at home. Her overall happiness and emotional state. Your objective is to identify the things that impact you and everyone around you. And once you have that list, you'll be able to prioritise what is important, what can't be moved, what you can control, and what's outside your control. As a father, you'll face many challenges across a range of different categories. There will be things that add value, things that create conflict, and things that need to change or that need to be worked on. This isn't about creating an extensive to-do list. This is simply about understanding everything that you're trying to balance in your role. Your key task is to separate the things that you control from the things that are outside your control and that add little value to your world and the lives of those you love the most. Take an overbearing family member, for example, who may have an opinion on everything. In the early days, they believe they're contributing and providing a support base. However, when you reflect, they might actually be creating unnecessary stress for you, your partner, and creating a conflict that can arise between you. Your circle of influence allows you to quickly establish the things that matter and help you focus on the positive impact that you can have. In the early days after I'd faced up to how I was feeling, this helped me understand what I was carrying and helped me prioritise the things that would add value to me, my partner, and my boys. As you desperately try to strike the right balance, especially as paternity comes to an end, this tool can help you work on the things that build a deeper connection with your kids and help you put to one side all those things that might be adding to the weight and expectation that you have of your role and of fatherhood in general. The circle of influence is a moment to pause. It gives you the chance to declutter and make space. Remember, paternity leave is your chance to take it all in. I remember being in awe of my partner, her strength. You will witness firsthand something you will never experience. The raw power of the female form and the sheer mental strength required to bring life into this world. I remember being taken aback by my partner's ability to focus her attention on her breath and how that during labour, nothing distracted her from her goal. The thing to remember as a new father is that your presence during her labour outweighs anything else. You must remember that she brought life into the world. Your new arrival needs you both. Right now, it has no wants, only needs, and baby will depend on you and your partner for food, warmth, protection, love, patience, and compassion. After a long labour, you will both feel exhausted. Your contribution might have been minimal, but that isn't to say that you will not have experienced being in a heightened state of stress for a prolonged period. She will be mentally and physically exhausted. And that's why your presence during paternity leave is so important. Just remember that you will need to mentally recover too. Fatherhood is the greatest gift we can receive, but we often overlook the importance of those early moments and those little windows of opportunity that enable you to form an unbreakable bond. From the moment baby arrives home, there will be no let-up and no chance to catch your breath. And that's why you must capture these moments and reflect on the changes you are both going to experience. In my view, the three things you've got to prioritise are documenting the hours after baby arrived. Use the time in the hospital to your advantage and make sure you capture the beauty of your partner's first embrace with baby, especially if you have that opportunity. Be sure to step up and cut that cord and pass baby to mum. Again, if you have that opportunity, do it. And take an opportunity to experience skin to skin with baby. We often take a step back and let baby and mum connect. But in doing so, we miss those unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And they are our chance to create power and amazing memories. If you're not doing this with baby, then you're missing out. This is your first chance to create an emotional connection. Take advantage of it. Champion it with other dads and talk about it. This is an intimate moment in every father's existence. That moment where we realise the power we have over the world of something so small. This unique chance to create an emotional bond promotes the release of oxytocin, or the love hormone. That enhances the feelings of connection, warmth and affection. And as dads, this is something that we do overlook. That early bonding experience can set the tone for a strong bond between you and baby. This wasn't something I experienced until we were home with baby. And therefore, should you get the chance in the hospital to take baby to your chest and build that connection, do so. If it's not offered or encouraged, do not be afraid to ask for it. Your body warmth will help regulate baby's body temperature, and your heartbeat can have a calming effect on baby's heart rate. This rare moment of vulnerability can help you feel more confident and competent in your role, and the physical closeness of baby provides you with a chance to read their cues and get a clearer understanding of your baby's needs. It is your right as a father to experience it, and its impact on your engagement in the early days can be massive. Paternity leave is something that you need to protect. It is time between you to build that family unit, and many of us are failing to use the time wisely. So protect it at all costs. The relationship between you and your partner will be put to the test early on. As set out earlier, you need to align your earlier expectations of fatherhood and parenthood, and you need to clearly communicate the importance of this time for you as dad. Your objective is to disconnect from the outside world and focus on one another and this precious moment as a couple. You have both been waiting for this moment, so focus on creating memories and be sure to enjoy the first few days. Yes, it's going to be chaotic, and yes, you're not going to know what you're doing, but give it your best shot. You're going to be forced to adapt quickly, but don't forget to enjoy the raw beauty that attaches to the journey that is parenthood. These early days will be filled with mistakes, and there will be laughter, tears of frustration and joy, and there'll be moments when you second guess your instinct. But throughout it all, there'll be memories for you both to cherish. If this is your first baby, get that camera out and capture the memories. Create a folder on your phone and move the images to that folder and title it baby's first week, day, month. Then get out from behind the camera and be present in the moment. Often we're so preoccupied with capturing the perfect image or video that we ignore the extraordinary beauty in the simple things. A newborn baby needs to hear your voice. They need to be familiar with your tone. So no matter what, be vocal, engage, and let them see you and not the lens of your camera or the back of your phone. Be sure to get plenty of pictures with mum and baby. That's one thing I regret. The hospital ones are always taken in poor light. But that first few days will see baby change so much. And the more images you get of mum and baby, the better. This is your time to capture the intimate moments between them And these are the moments you will both want to look over when times inevitably get tougher. Don't overlook the importance of quality time, please. Remember, this is your time to bond as a family. You will want to throw yourself in and be as supportive as you can, but be considerate of her need to find her rhythm. In the early days, we wrestle with the need to feel validated in our role, to add value and contribute. Sometimes, our biggest and best contribution is being on hand to support mum through this trial by fire. My advice: leave the ego at the door. A dad's time comes later. At this early stage, everything baby needs can be delivered by mum. And that includes those cuddles that settle baby down whilst you're both desperately trying to figure out what baby needs. This doesn't mean you should take a back seat, but it does mean that her bond will be stronger, and you shouldn't feel threatened by that. Don't be disheartened. I promise you, your time will come. The important message here is to remain patient, engaged, confident, and ready to take over when she needs a moment to decompress. As baby gets older, there will be plenty of time to bond through more active play, rough play. Your partner wants you present and free from distraction. And baby needs you to be calm, engaged, and above all else, they need to feel the warmth, not just from your touch, but your tone and your facial expressions. We are all guilty of overcomplicating what our children need. And as a new father, you will feel the overwhelming need to contribute and add value. The fact that you are there, engaging in paternity leave and supporting your partner as she adjusts to her role, is more powerful than you can ever imagine. Before you return to work though, I recommend a simple exercise, something that can help you appreciate the world around you, but also focus on what's really important. A working dad is immediately under pressure both at home and at work. There will be conflicting priorities, and people will demand something from you. That could be your employer, your partner, extended family members. And all of this creates pressure, which can stop you valuing the impact you are having on your young family. To help you focus on what's important, I want you to use the 7 levels deep exercise, which is a tool I use to help me better understand my motivations as a father. This tool not only allows me to drill deeper into what makes me tick, but it helps me strengthen the link between my actions, my decisions, and the costs of not delivering on them. This is a powerful tool to help you uncover the reasons behind the goals you have for you, your kids, and your family. The 7 levels deep exercise is a reflective process that helps you explore your motivations and underlying reasons for a specific goal. Now, by asking why multiple times, you dig deeper into your emotions, beliefs, and the values that you hold. The goal is simply to uncover the core drivers behind your actions and gain deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. I cannot stress this enough. This tool helps you engage better. So the 7 levels deep exercise is a very simple set of 7 questions. And as we move down the list of questions, the final 2 are the most important, because that's where we really get specific and we drop off from the surface level responses to the questions and we really detail that motivation. And actually, from a father's perspective, it creates a power, a rawness that you can use on a daily basis. You can write it down in a journal, you can write it down on the front of your phone, however you want to immerse yourself in this exercise. The key is to understand the motivation behind your action, the motivation behind what you want to achieve in your role as a father, even from day one. Because if you're conflicted, if you're facing challenges or you're unsure about the future, you need to narrow down what is motivating you. I'll let you into a secret. Your kids are that raw power. The moment you see them for the first time, it unlocks something in you. Sometimes we struggle with the enormity of it. But the reality is it's there. It's raw. It's something that can be used to allow us to become our true selves, our most authentic selves, gives us that sense of purpose, that willingness to try something different. Because ultimately, we want to provide, we want to protect. I get that. But from my perspective, if I make a decision, I want to make sure the decision is impacting them in the right way. If it's a long-term, short-term decision, I want to check that that decision aligns with what I'm trying to achieve in my role as a father. So remember, we have 7 questions that we'll work through. So I'm going to walk through the exercise now, and then as we walk through it, you can jump on, jot some notes down. If you've got any questions, drop an email to hello@themodernfatherhoodclub.com, and I will gladly give you some further help and guidance. So let's take level 1. What is important to you about becoming successful in your role as a father? I've got an example here. So I want to create a future for my children, to show them that anything is possible and that you can change the way that you see the world. So that should be the guidance that you can take for level 1. So then we look at level 2. So why is that goal important? So my response was, because I will fulfill my potential as a father, be happier, and build a greater connection with my kids. Okay, so we're still peeling back some layers. Now we're on to level 3. So why is that important? Because I am a dad, and I want my kids to see that no matter what I've been through, I'm prepared to fight back, regain control, and impact the lives of those I love the most. So now we're starting to get deeper. Level 4, why is that important to you? Because no kid should ever see their dad struggle or be subjected to a dad who can't give them what they need because he's struggling or can't find space to feel less burned out. Now we're into level 5. So why is that important? Because if I'm struggling and can't see a way out, then I'm teaching my kids that it's okay to give in. This approach might damage their future and, importantly, their self-worth. Now we're getting into the specifics. This is the juicy stuff. Why is this specifically important? Because I want to leave a legacy for my children. I never want to give up on my kids just because I couldn't see a way back. Now we dial it right in. Why is that important? Because no child should have their life limited by the decisions or indecision of their dad. They should never have to fight on alone and shape their own lives without the support and guidance from someone that always has their best interests at heart. You see, by asking these questions, you reach the core motivation that can drive you towards any goal that you're working toward. If your goal is simply to be the best dad you can be, then this exercise is for you. This exercise helps you connect with your deeper values and provides a strong sense of purpose to guide your actions. I've shared my first iteration of this exercise. It's changed the way I think about my role, the way I interact with my kids. And it's become a template that I use when I need to make a difficult decision or any changes that I need to make. If I'm faced with an obstacle, I use it to help me regain perspective, reset, and move forward. My advice: shape the first iteration over the next few days, tweak the words and come back over and over until you have a very clear set of statements. Every time I've faced a new challenge or struggled to see something positively or even questioned my decision making, I've used this exercise to get clear quickly and move forward. Now you're clearer on what might influence you and clearer on your motivations as a father, you can return to work with confidence. Everything else, I promise you, is just noise. Everything will try to distract you from your greatest role. It is your responsibility to limit that noise. And these exercises can help you. Beware the pull of work, distractions and stress. I returned to work after my paternity ended in April 2020 with the pandemic in full swing, and the business I worked for was in full panic mode, trying to plan and navigate unprecedented change and upheaval. A lot can change in 2 weeks, but in 2020 the world had been turned upside down. During your paternity leave, you and your partner find yourselves in your own bubble, protected from the outside world, and with much of its influence on hold whilst you'll find your rhythm and tune into baby's needs. you disconnect from the realities of the working world. Take it from me, paternity leave will be over in a flash. And before you know it, you'll be scrambling to stay on top of work, your relationship, and everything to do with baby. That first day back is a massive reality check. In my experience, the business was in full panic mode, desperately trying to follow the disjointed guidance laid down by the government. Now I returned after a massive personal setback. Nobody asked me how I was. Nobody showed much interest in what we'd been through and whether my partner and baby were okay. It was business as usual, and I was needed to plan for the next challenge on the horizon. During this chaotic time, I wouldn't expect anything less. I knew my role, my objectives were clear, and I understood what the business needed from me. That first interaction following your return sets the precedent, and it can make or break your relationship and commitment to that business. This transition is a significant event that requires thoughtful planning and a proactive and collaborative approach. I don't think the business I worked for handled or even knew how to handle a father returning to work. In an earlier episode, we've talked about the importance of a paternity policy. That policy typically sets out very little in terms of guidance to leaders on how to engage and manage a father returning to work. I didn't give birth, and I'm not the primary caregiver. Therefore, I should be able to just slip into work like nothing happened. The problem is, during your leave, you may have experienced any number of challenges, and employers are not tuned into the stress and strain you as the father endures. Let's think about what to expect when you return. So to be clear, most employers do not have a paternity leave return to work policy. Expect very little. You will dive back into work, get your head down and get back to work like nothing happened. There'll be no banner or ticker tape parade. For dads, we're just expected to adapt to whatever happened during that period of leave and get on with it. There is a silence following paternity leave. Everyone is expecting you to carry on like nothing happened, and therefore nobody asks you how things are going and if there is any support that you need. In part, the issue firmly rests at the feet of your employer. Their policy covers your entitlement, but not much else. And that is why you must, on your return, initiate open and early communication with your employer about your return to work. You must, and I can't stress this enough, encourage an open dialogue during any meeting you have with your leader. In most back to work or performance related meetings, if performance has been impacted, then the personal challenges you might be facing will be overlooked. There are plenty of barriers to you being more open about your home life, but you can't be one of them. I know that for many, work and their personal life are two separate things. However, when work interferes with the harmony of the family and vice versa, these two things become one distinct issue, one that you can't ignore. On your return, go back with your eyes open. Don't expect a back to work interview and the process to be documented, because it won't. And don't expect an informal conversation unless you request one. By choosing not to blur the lines, you are potentially vulnerable to criticism if your ability to deliver is impacted. And this is where a lot of us make mistakes. If you witnessed a traumatic birth or experienced very difficult circumstances following baby's arrival, and your willingness to ignore the need to reach out will catch you out. As an employee, you do not want to be seen as vulnerable. As a father, you want to protect those you love. But internalising the pain can create problems at work and at home. By prompting a conversation early, you can document it and follow up should there be any issues or challenges you and your partner face whilst adapting to the early pressures of parenting. Now, of course, you can battle on in silence and ignore the pressure. If you choose to do so, be cautious of the impact that it might have on you and your partner later down the line. The key is to talk early about your paternity experience. If you've had a tough time or are experiencing anything that might interfere with your work, and you can protect yourself by documenting it. You do not have to go into the detail, but an open and honest conversation will at least signpost to your employer that things have changed at home and therefore they may impact the way that you are at work. Engaging in that conversation might actually facilitate a more understanding environment and present you with the opportunity to discuss a flexible working arrangement or alternative work schedule to alleviate some of that early pressure. I'm afraid this is on you. If you choose to separate the two, then you are closing your employer off to important issues, when in fact, if the culture is right, they might be willing to adapt and support you as best they can. Okay, so the next section is, look, just don't overlook the stresses that she's facing at home with your baby. That first day you walk out, your role changes. As work kicks back in, it's likely that your attention will be diverted away from what's going on at home. My role as a husband and a partner is not only to support her emotionally, but to do so practically. Teamwork plays an important part in managing the challenges that your partner faces, but I must also be alive to the challenges that she may face in the future. Your role is to actively listen and try to understand the relentless nature of parenting whilst you're out at work. You'll need to be on hand and ready to jump right in from the moment you open the front door. There will be things she might not have managed to get done in the day, and leveraging that I've been out all day and I've been working hard and working my arse off is not going to get you anywhere. That's not the way to communicate, regardless of the pressure that you might be feeling. Just because she's a stay-at-home mum right now doesn't mean she has to live up to higher expectations and be a superwoman and a super mum. Has to have it all under control. Sometimes the days just aren't going to go to plan, but she can rest up. The mum life is a full-time job. She's not been sitting down all day. She'll see you coming through that door, and some days she'll feel like dashing past you, leaving you to manage the chaos. That she deserves to be under any more pressure to get the household chores done. There'll be days when she's opted to meet friends and not get all the tasks done. Let it be. She needs community, she needs support, she needs that just as much as you do. Just remember to be on hand and encourage her from the off. She'll want some independence back, and encouraging her to meet friends and socialising is going to help her stay connected, happy and more confident. One thing to think about is how you will manage to find the balance needed to give both fatherhood and your job your attention. I'm afraid there's no magic bullet. Both take hard work, demand your time, and need you to be resilient. At times, one will take priority over the other, and your role is to understand the cost of prioritising the demands of your career against the needs of your family. Whilst that might seem a pretty obvious statement to make, in practice, the demands of others can distract you from your most important role. This is a period of transition. That first day is going to be hard, but once the dust settles, balancing it all can be relentless, and the energy needed to do it can actually leave you feeling exhausted and distanced from everyone and from one another. We covered off the circle of influence and the 7 levels deep exercise, and these tools can play a massive part in helping you focus on all the challenges ahead, and prioritising what is important is critical to your success. The biggest obstacle standing in your way is going to be you and how you adapt to the stress and strain of managing both home and work. The key is finding balance, but that's not always easy. To maximise your impact early on, you must understand the role you play goes beyond provider and protector, and you must never question your commitment to your partner or to your children. Paternity leave is a chance for you to take a step back and fully immerse yourself in the joys of becoming a parent. The message is simple. Prepare for the seismic shift, both financially and emotionally. This whirlwind of a ride is full of ups, downs, highs, lows, and your preparation for fatherhood is crucial too. Successfully navigating those early days, supporting her through early motherhood, and recognising that there are influences within and outside your control that will impact your early memories. I cannot stress this enough. Both paternity and maternity policies do not go far enough. In the UK, some companies have stepped up and are willing to provide an enhanced package for mothers and in some instances fathers too. However, the majority of organisations are providing little education, financial support and emotional support to fathers in the lead up to and after paternity leave. And this approach can leave you isolated. I'm afraid the isolation starts before baby arrives, especially if you're not able to take paternity leave. And that's why your preparation is key. I urge you to think differently and engage in the paternity process and take positive action to ensure you are not overlooked. Your employer is unlikely to take an active interest in your fatherhood story. If there was a genuine interest, then their policies would reflect the importance of paternity leave and the benefits it can have to a new father's family, his confidence and his engagement as an employee. As a working father, you must engage your employer in a dialogue that sets the tone and ensures you receive some level of support, especially as you find your feet and try to balance the pressure of work and family life. If you fail to engage your employer in an open and honest dialogue early on, it's going to be difficult to manage their expectations going forward. This can create unnecessary pressure at work and avoidable conflict at home. Navigating modern fatherhood requires a supportive partnership between employers and dads. By recognising the unique challenges you will face and implementing strategies to support you, employers can create a workplace culture that values work-life integration, promotes employee well-being, and fosters a sense of belonging. Despite the lack of engagement from employers, paternity leave remains a critical part of your fatherhood journey and your journey as new parents. It gives you that unique moment to breathe it all in and focus fully on baby and mum. If your employer offers paternity leave at your standard salary and you are eligible, take it. If it's going to put you at an early financial disadvantage, understand the cost, and if you can reduce the financial impact by budgeting and cutting back, do so. Remember, early fatherhood is about preparation. With a lack of support, you often face the challenges head on and alone. And this can impact your ability to be present with your new addition and be in tune to your partner's needs. Before you can fully engage in your story, you must consider the financial cost and recognise the financial uncertainty that arises during the early stages of parenthood. As the problem solver, your practical approach can have a profound impact on the happiness of the family unit. Your partner is expecting you to be aware of the challenges in the lead up to your paternity and her maternity. And this is your opportunity to step up and understand the short and longer term financial cost and emotional impact of having children. There is no silver bullet, no quick fix to the challenges new parents face. But as a dad, you can take a more active role in the early planning and understand the financial impact and, importantly, the time it will take to recover from those early pressures. I've said it before, your role is to encourage and provide emotional support, but you must do so from a position of understanding, one that can only be achieved through better education and preparation. As her partner, engage in open and honest communication and demonstrate that you have a solid understanding of the family dynamic. You must actively share responsibilities, provide emotional support, help with childcare, be flexible and celebrate her successes. This approach lightens the load, but in today's busy world, this is only scratching the surface. a better understanding of the pressure that she faces, especially during the early period immediately after baby arrives, will ensure that she feels heard and validated. As you embark on this new and exciting journey, remember that you are a partnership and that you will both have expectations about one another and the roles that you will play. By getting clear on the impact you want to have early in your role and acknowledging the pressures you will both face, you can better support one another. By choosing to engage in open and honest discussions with her when discussing her day, you can strengthen the bond between you both. This can also help her manage the conflict that she might face internally from the emotional pull of motherhood. I watched as my partner embraced motherhood with confidence and resilience. But I also witnessed how much resilience and confidence was tested as she faced a number of challenges that I didn't see coming. The way you approach your paternity leave and how you transition back to work is going to have a profound effect on her and baby. That 2-week period is your chance to offer the support she needs and attempt as best you can to find the routine that works for you both. Look, despite it only being a short window, this is your chance to bond with baby and help your partner adjust to the pressures of early motherhood. If you plan ahead and educate yourself on the early challenges a mother can face, you can be on hand to offer support. Above all else, you need to prioritise listening as she looks to find her way. My friend, paternity leave is your chance to spend quality time together and get to know your new addition, and where possible, you need to protect it at all costs. And I'm going to continue to stress that. As the father, you will be overlooked by family members, friends, and even health professionals. And therefore, it's crucial that you communicate to your partner the importance of this unique time and why protecting it is important to you. This is also your chance to appreciate your partner's mental and physical resilience, especially if she's had a particularly difficult birth. The better prepared you are, the more supported she will feel, and the more chances you may get to bond with baby on a one-to-one basis. As paternity leave draws to a close, you must reflect on your unique experience and consider how the pressures of work might now distract you from this most important role. There will be conflicting demands, but a clear line of sight to what is important and why can help you become the strong, confident and resilient father that can teach his children how to overcome adversity in the future. Paternity leave and how you adjust to the early pressures of balancing work and home life will play a pivotal role in the development of your kids, the strength of your partnership, and the overall happiness within the family unit. Preparing for paternity leave is going to allow you to better understand the challenges ahead. Your willingness to prepare puts your partner and baby first, but it also enables you to make the most of this special time. Every family story is unique, and the challenges we face along the way will all be different. However, by putting the preparation in and engaging your employer and partner in your personal journey, you will feel better supported, less conflicted, and more confident as you make the shift from man, employee, and partner to man, partner, father, and employee. This episode and all the episodes in this series are designed to get you ready for fatherhood. I learned a lot from my own journey and my own setback, but these conversations, they need to take place. And frankly, you, the employers, your partner, the government, everyone needs to get behind working dads and better signpost the policies, the financial impact, and the impact that paternity can have on the family unit. Look, I'm going to not stress this enough. You are the gatekeeper to her success as a mother. Your support in that early time will give her the confidence and help her build the mental strength and resilience to take on every challenge that she's going to face. She is going to feel isolated, and you will too. But your time to shine, your time to effect how the family dynamic comes together in this unique time is all within your control. The more you prepare, the more you understand how the dynamic's going to shift, how the pressure is going to mount. Fatherhood is relentless, it's beautiful, it's filled with joy, and there are pressures that you won't see coming. There are challenges that are on the horizon that you won't be ready for. But if you're relying on the past, your past experiences, to get through today and tomorrow, that will eventually burn away at your mental strength, capacity to lead your family, and build the mental capacity to be present and engaged at every turn. Your role is to give them everything they need. What they need is so much simpler than you think. And therefore, if you can use the tools that we've discussed in this episode to rid yourself of some of those external influences and pressures, and you can prioritise the things that are important and have the most impact on your partner, you and baby, then you are stepping up and you are delivering. Remember this, your employer isn't ready. Paternity leave is their solution. It's their opportunity to give you that space to build a bond with your baby. But I want to remind you that they're not going to go any further. You're not going to be pushed into it because it's a financial burden on them. And therefore you are going to be on your own. You are going to face a number of challenges in those early periods, even up to the time that they go to school, where you're trying to find the right balance and the pressure builds. You need the moments to decompress so that you can spend quality, connected time with your kids. Remember, they need a confident, resilient father, somebody that's ready to teach, have fun, guide from that position of strength and confidence. And you have to invest in that. Nobody's going to invest in it for you. You have to take the steps that are necessary to make the changes now so that you can impact them tomorrow. They are your legacy. Whatever you're going through, whatever challenges that you faced in your past, cannot dictate the way that they approach their future. You owe it to them to step up, but you owe it to them to be more self-aware and adapt to the surroundings that you find yourself in and the challenges that are ahead. You and your partner need to be open with one another. You need to be aware of the stresses and strains that you don't see that are in her world. But she needs to appreciate that there are a number of things that you juggle. So when we talk about the circle of influence, when we talk about the 7 levels deep, make sure you share that content with her so that she understands that you are prepared for this journey. This is your chance to step up and deliver. Make the most of it. Enjoy it. Love every turn. You will face some absolute shitstorms, but every moment builds to moments of absolute beauty where you will never experience anything like it. Make the most of your paternity leave. Support your partner. Respect your partner. Respect the man you are today. And reflect on the impact that your employer is having on your ability to be the father they need. Thank you for listening. For more support, check out the Modern Fatherhood Club. Check out our website. Go back to listen to some of the other episodes that have been in this series. Watch some of the videos. And if you're interested in diving deeper into some of the exercises that I've shared today, check out some of our courses. I'm excited to have you on board. I'm excited to have you listening today. And I respect the journey you're on. And I respect the man and dad you're becoming. Thanks for listening.